What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger comic book review episode. I apologize, we are a couple of hours late, but hey, I'd rather a couple hours late, or actually an hour and a half late, an hour and a half and 2 minutes late. But anyway, I'd rather be late hour-wise than late day-wise. For those of you that didn't know, I've had a hell of a weekend. It's been a very intense weekend. I got a bit sick. Then tonight we were having technical issues. Mike's actually using my phone today instead of the tablet. We weren't having technical issues with the tablet. We were having technical issues with programs on the tablet, which we're going to be getting that fixed tonight into tomorrow. So instead we're going back to the phone. We have our physical books this week, so we're using the physical books as well. We don't have that many books this week. It's actually a pretty short week. Yep. So anyway, we are here. We are live. Unfortunately, like I said, we're an hour and a half late, so I'm not sure how many people we're going to be catching live. But the good news is we are recording after Raw, so maybe we'll grab a couple of people who normally don't watch us because of Raw, or now people won't have to worry about splitting their attention. I'm talking a little bit to give you guys a bit of an intro and also to get people, if they're still around, to pop in. A few things I want to make mention of. I'll mention this again at the end. I'm very happy to announce that I didn't officially announce it last week, but now I have the go-ahead to. I started last week. I'm even deeper into comics now. Not only am I writing comics, not only do I review comics, but now I'm actually working as a comic flatter. So I'm very happy about that. And one of the books I do flat, I can't really discuss a lot of the books without permission, but I do have permission to discuss this. I did have the honor of flatting the first couple of pages of Pneumatic Cases, issue number 2. The Kickstarter was launched today on, I believe it was 1 or 2 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock, somewhere around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time. It's live now. It's going for another 20, 30 days. I forget how long the campaign is. I think it's a month exactly. But anyway, go check it out. It's already close to 25% funded. Guys, if you backed the last Ember from Last Ember Press, Pneumatic Cases is another awesome book. If you enjoy steampunk, if you like detective work, if you like mystery, good artwork, this is definitely a book you should look into. Pneumatic Cases issue number 1 is already out. If you didn't check that out, you can get that book now, or you can get it in a tier over at the Kickstarter. Now that I'm done giving some mentions, some updates, and an honorable shout out, which I will talk about Pneumatic Cases too again at the end of the show. Let's actually get into the show. So this week, the book's released on
January 23rd, 2018. And we're going to start with your book first digitally.
Yes, we do have some digital books that were digital only. Go-Go Power Rangers issue number 6.
4. Is it 4?
6.
Oh, it looked like 4.
It's 6.
Oops. Okay. 6 done.
So Matt is still infiltrating the Power Rangers. Rita and Goldar attack Angel Grove again. Billy is faced with a decision, which we all know how that's going to go. But he's faced with the decision of if he's that he wants to leave the Power Rangers because he was offered a position in a higher school. Also, him being late to the fight with Goldar, almost getting killed by Goldar and becoming kind of like a prisoner, or not a prisoner, a hostage of Goldar's for a couple of seconds, leaves Billy thinking maybe he's not best for the job. Maybe Matt would make a better replacement. And the messed up part is Matt's still a prisoner of Rita, and the Matt that's on Earth is actually a super putty, or a human clone putty. Meant to destroy the Power Rangers, or to give all 5 Rangers over to Rita. I am enjoying Go-Go Power Rangers. It's going to be interesting to see how this wraps up in another issue or 2, because Go-Go Power Rangers and Mighty Morphin are supposed to be crossing over for Shattered Grid. Actually, I will mention this also. Free Comic Book Day. We actually made our order for DCBS, and we were able to get 7 books. One of those books is actually Shattered Dimension. There's going to be a Shattered Dimension Free Comic Book Day book, so I'm looking forward to that.
All right, and issue number 6 that I have for this week is The Shadow, issue number 6. And this, surprisingly to me, was the final issue of The Shadow.
Final issue?
Mm-hmm. It's the final issue. And basically what The Shadow for this issue was like, what I felt about this whole volume was that he was doubting himself of whether he was the Shadow or not, because remember that whole thing where he was in the hospital and then just going back and forth with the Shadow. So that's why I felt like this whole volume was. But you do see him as the Shadow in this, uncovering the investigation that the woman was uncovering. I think his name was Teeth or something, you know, because there was a whole big ramble about that. So he goes to find out that, and
oh, we got people in the comments. Finally, we got. Let's see. Hold on. It froze, and now it's going. We got Larry Higgins in the comments. Rebel Comics. We got Justin in the comments. Oh, both at the same time. That's why I froze for a moment there. So what's going on, Larry? What's going on, Justin? Sorry, we're starting a bit late today, but hey, Justin, now you don't have to worry about watching us and Raw at the same time. I was about to say justly Raw at the same time. So go ahead.
So anyway, like I said, he was just saying that.
And hi, Alan.
Yeah. So he's just saying that, you know, the people who, the names that he was before are dead to him. So he's just known as the Shadow. That's it.
That's always how he was known.
Well, I know. I'm just saying the names that he was before are dead to him. So that's it.
Right.
And then the girl graduated, and then that's how it was the end. So it was a good way it was ending, and was a great volume series. And maybe it'll come back. I did hear something about maybe it be possible, a possibility it may come back. That. Now, I only have one physical book from Indies digitally, which I hopefully will review for Comic Frontline either whenever I have the chance this week, of Exo Manowar issue number 11. So in this one, what I like about this issue is what?
Oh, Shadow Man.
The Shadow Man.
I like that there's a Shadow Man advertisement like this. This is a cool advertisement.
Yeah.
Valiant was actually just bought. We'll be discussing that tomorrow night on Comic Frontline. Valiant was bought by a company. I don't know which company. I just saw the highlights or the headlines. I hope that whatever company it is, they keep the focus on the comics and everything else on the TV stuff separate. You gotta be right back. 2 seconds.
So Arak fights in his suit, which we also coming. And it was against the three guys who we read from in the last issue. And Ron, I remember his name. The other two, I forgot what their names were. So they trapped him in this force field or something like that. And the other three could get out, but Arak couldn't get out unless he lets go of the suit and whatnot. So he gets out without his suit. You know, because they had to shed his precious armor if he wanted to escape, and then they assassinated him, but didn't kill him. They just assassinated him. Or bounty hunters, they were called, if that makes any sense. And then we get a little bit of a turn from Wynn also. So that was actually kind of a shocker because everybody is sort of betraying him in this issue. So he's really getting the burn of it. Also, she wants to find out us going like where Bruto is and stuff like that, and then where Arak is. So with that, he escapes, and then Arak has a talk with Bazel, who looks like a Jinjar from the Livewire series, but it's just a head for that. And it looks like that Ron and the gang are having plans for Arak, but they're going to be definitely keeping the armor for that in the little force field. So I thought that this issue was like a really good issue for Exo Manowar. So let me check the comments. Awesome. I'm ready for the Woman Elimination Chamber in 4 weeks. Yep, that was awesome. Justin, you ready for the Woman Elimination Chamber? All right, so they're talking about wrestling and everything. All right. So basically, yeah. So I really found this issue to be awesome, as always. Definitely something you guys should pick up for that and review and see for yourselves as well. I'll put that down there because the next comic book I have is mine, which is digitally from Marvel, and that is Luke Cage, issue number 169. A disturbing cover, but yeah, and I think this one also ended the story arc to the whatchamacallit, the I forgot what his name was already. Tabat, I think his name was, where he was mind controlling everybody. So in this issue, Luke Cage, along with Luke Cage survived, of course, but he also snaps out of the whole mind control, and all the other people do as well. So then with Luke Cage, he just like snapped out of it and went like, la la la, I don't understand. I'm not gonna be fooled by your spells anymore. So I think that ends that story arc because it is still to be continued in the new story arc for that.
We have comments, dude.
So yeah, I read them. It talks about wrestling.
Okay, it's all wrestling.
I got up to here. I want to read that book. How much was it, Mike? Which one? Exo Manowar?
Which book? Where are you at?
This one, because this is all about the Elimination Chamber and stuff. So
I think it's $3.99.
Probably. You said podcast was on Wednesday. What's up, Bobby? That was from Bobby.
How's it going, Bobby?
So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Manowar. Yeah, $3.99. All right, so now we're going into the physical books of another one of mine on top, which is Phoenix Resurrection issue number 4. We have one more issue left until we conclude the Phoenix Resurrection, which then goes back into Jean Grey. And they're both coming out next week at the same time.
Well, yeah, because I believe Jean Grey's ending at the same time.
It is, yeah. So this issue isn't actually as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's basically the X-Men who go through the portal, and where they go through the portal, they're in the Phoenix's world. Before Jean Grey turned into the Phoenix. So they meet up with the bird of that, and and Jean, of course, can't see them. Like, they could see Jean, but Jean can't see them because Jean's in the world where it's not on fire. And the X-Men see it from their perspective that the world is on fire. And they just have a whole explanation of if this was just a dream or anything. And I love the artwork, especially when they meet up with the Phoenix bird. And instead of Cyclops going after the Phoenix bird, Logan actually said it because he says to Cyclops that you didn't really love her and that he did. And I thought that was really something. So now it's going to be Logan against the Phoenix bird in the to-be-concluded issue of issue number 5. So really some crazy stuff. So actually this one was not as bad like I said.
Jesse's in the comments. JLS comments. What's going on, man?
And that's it for Phoenix Resurrection. Now we go into you.
All right. This should have been the other way around. Sorry.
Oh.
Whoopsie.
Okay,
I put them in the wrong order. So X-Men Blue issue number 20. So the X-Men are back in time. They fought their evil counterparts. And, well, they fight their evil counterparts in this book. Really good artwork. They end up saving Professor Xavier. However, Xavier says they can't stay because they apparently they know the future too much. They've grown too much. And what happens is they have to come back at the exact moment they were taken away, number 1. And number 2, they have to forget everything they've seen. So in order to get back to their time, they have to forget everything that's happened to them over the course of the past couple of years. And they also have to find the exact moment where Beast took them away and return at that exact moment. So they have to basically set everything in the past back to the way it was. Magneto actually makes some work of the future mutants. And that's how the book ends.
Wow.
Just in time for Poison X. This is X-Men Blue Annual, I believe, number 1. And it starts, so you get double X-Men Blue this month. Apparently, Cyclops' father gets attacked by symbiotes. They go to Venom for help. Venom doesn't want to help. His symbiote does. We're starting to see Eddie and the symbiote are not getting along too well.
Eddie Brock and the symbiote?
Are not getting along too well, which is weird. So, in the end, the symbiote kind of forces Eddie to follow along with the X-Men because it wants to help its kind because it involves the Click-Tars. And it sounds too weird that people are using it as a weapon. So, in the end, they end up in space. Venom and the X-Men team up to find Cyclops' father. Also, Venom's there to figure, and the symbiote's there to figure out about the Click-Tars. And that's where they come face to face with the poisons because they think this somehow involves the poisons. This is going to be a very interesting arc, and it is going to be my last physical arc for both X-Men Blue and Venom. However, I think it will also be the end of me and X-Men Blue, period. Going into the other side of the pond now. The grand finale of Nightwing, the New Order. This issue. Wait, let me see real fast. Very happy the young X-Men are gone or back where they belong. Unfortunately, Justin, they're not there to stay. But they will be figuring out how to stay there. X-Men Blue. All right. From what I'm hearing right now, let me answer some of these. We got Jeremy Joe Star in the comments. What's going on, Jeremy? From what I'm hearing is X-Men Blue is going to cross over with Venom, and then they're going to get lost in space. A new team's going to be coming out for X-Men Blue. The goal for the X-Men Blue book, I guess, after the original X-Men come back to Earth, will be for them to figure out how to get back to their time. What's up, Tevye? I see Tevye popped in a little bit ago also. So sooner or later, the original X-Men are going back, and X-Men Gold is going to become like an uncanny team, and X-Men Red is going to be sticking around because obviously that's going to be Jean's team. Now, well, same here. They were way too. They were around way too long. I agree. I think Bendis kept them around. It's Frank's in the comments now. What's up? It's Frank. I agree. They're going to have to revamp all the teams. Or X-Men Blue is going to be canceled. One or the other. So Nightwing, the New Order, issue 6 of 6. Nightwing makes a deal with Batwoman. Or Kate, because she's not Batwoman anymore. Him and his son go free, and he gives Kate the Resistance. However, thanks to Jake, Dick kind of has a change of heart. Well, this is interesting. I didn't see this crossover. Justice League, DC Young Animals, Milk Wars. Really? That's okay. I don't know why I didn't see that advertisement before. It just hit me now. But anyway, Dick comes back. Jake, with his blood, is able to give Superman back his superpowers. Lex Luthor, of course, had a plan, a devious, evil plan all along to use Jake to give all human superpowers. And in doing that, he creates this kind of like bomb that'll take out half of Metropolis. Of course, Superman and Jake save the day, and the world kind of goes back to normal. And I love how the whole book is told through Jake as he's an adult, talking to his son as like a story or like a lesson about his family in the future, in the past. So I like how they did that. This ended really nicely. It could have ended a lot of ways, but who wrote this? Who wrote this? They don't say it on the cover. Oh, Higgins did a really good job finishing off Nightwing New Order. Let's see. Been watching this crap show of people calling Ethan Von Sciver a bigot, Nazi online. That's weird. Can the past X-Men go away? Tevye, you want a lot of things to go away. Milk Wars is weird, but they had the Milk Wars milk carton. Really? That's interesting. Yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to be getting Milk Wars physically, at least. I might check it out digitally, but I'm probably not even going to review it. That is, the whole Young Animals brand is a bit too weird for me.
All right, I have Justice League of America issue number 23. Not saying that this was the worst. This was like my least from my pile this week of the other books that I read, in my opinion. What it really talks about is Tarsi. I don't even know how you say her name. And she has a feeling that, that she killed Vixen and she's trying to take over, Killer Frost's, mind, like saying that she's, the powerful one and everything. And there's like a whole long dialogue. The Ray is not too sure if he wants to come back to the Justice League. Meanwhile, Vixen was alive. Got some great artwork, by the way, which I wanted to show you right there. And it's really just everyone just waiting for that building to be completed. By the way, here's the Milk Wars thing.
Again.
That you were talking about. That we were talking about. So the Ray does come back, as well as Vixen, who wants to try to get back into Bow. But before any of that could happen, we have someone else who wants to test out her Tessaria's ability. Wonder Woman. I mean, since Batman's not there, why not have Wonder Woman do all that, take care of her? So, oh man, that's where my interest went up there. So Wonder Woman,
Nice. Brought
That's
back the
gonna be
Queen of
something.
Fables. Nice, since she was Wonder Woman's villain. And
Oh, it's on
Woman's
Wonder Woman's
here.
Day, yeah. How cool is that? There you go.
Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, Zod's will. So the Guardians are back. Jon Stewart's not too happy about it. However, he accepts being the leader of the Green Lantern Corps still to keep an eye on the Guardians, to still lead the Green Lanterns. And a new mission begins where there's a world that's in trouble. I forget what the name of that planet was. Oh, what was the name of the planet? Do they say it at the beginning? It starts with a J. Yeah, here it is. Jakku, Jekuul. Jakul. And Hal and what do you call it? They send Hal and Kyle to check it out, and it turns out, hey, it's General Zod. And a fight ensues because the Green Lantern Corps came a bit early, but Zod and Ursa and Lord Zod and Eradicator make easy work of both Kyle and Hal, and the campaign against the Green Lanterns begin. Now, I want you to remember this book because it's very important when we get to action, which is the last book in this review. Or second to last book because we had an event happen this week. But just remember this book for when we get to action.
Teen Titans issue number 16. This is more of the focal point on the character you see right here, which is Starfire. And this issue was actually really interesting. We get a little bit of Starfire's character about how the Teen Titans see her as, the oldest person because the other people are like younger to her. I think like 3 years younger than her or something like that. So she shows like how she does like her abilities and everything, and how she fights off against
cover of the week right there. I definitely could agree with that. Yeah. I really like the cover.
Oh, I had a different cover of the week, but we'll find out tomorrow then. So she fights off against the warlords of these names. I don't know how they come up with these names, but anyway, so she fights off against that and Exile, who tried to take over her powers, but luckily she broke out of that, and also tried to mind control her with Raven and Beast Boy, but luckily she removed it from them because they got possessed by them, and it looks like Beast Boy is going to be going on a dating site or something like that. First Bizarro on Red Hood and the Outlaws, now Beast Boy. Was this turning out to be a dating thing going on here? Dating frenzy? I don't know if it's just me or DC's planning on giving them relationships. Beast Boy.
Jeremy collects mostly trades, reading instead of week to week. Understood. So if I wasn't doing these reviews, I might do the same. Trades are a very good way to collect because once these go away, it's a pain in the butt to go find them again. That's why I'm going to be collecting a lot of my Marvel stuff.
And like I said, Beast Boy is better off with just Raven. I don't know why with anyone else. So.
All right, let's get to the two big ones out of DC, and that's Detective Comics 973. This one is more of the same. The Bat team trying to save Clayface. We get a little bit of a setup at the beginning where it's Batman and Tim talking about Clayface joining the team. This is way back before the first issue of Detective after Rebirth, where they're talking about forming the team, about Clayface joining the team, Tim liking it, and then, of course, we all know how the last issue left off. So pretty much it's just the Bat team trying to stop Clayface throughout the issue. Lonnie has a change of heart, so Anarchy ends up giving them the first victim and information about the first victim. Kate is left with a very precarious decision by the end of this issue and makes a precarious decision by the end of this issue to either stop Clayface or, they end up giving him a cure, but because he has so much clay, the cure doesn't cure him permanently. Instead, it just cures him momentarily. And slowly he starts to become Clayface again, and that's where Kate makes that decision. That's probably going to get her kicked off the Bat team, and obviously why things are going crazy. Dick needs Starfire, not Barbara. Dick, there's a lot of possibilities with Dick, honestly. I definitely buy more DC trades for older stuff since DC doesn't have a good digital platform yet. Justin, that's what I'm doing with Nightwing. As a matter of fact, the next Nightwing book, I believe, comes out in February. I have volumes 1 through 7 or 6. Whichever the next volume is the next volume I have pre-ordered. I'm hoping they keep going this time and they finish off all 200-ish issues. I don't know. I have issue 94 on the wall from the first volume of Nightwing, so I don't know. Anyway, next of the two is Action Comics 996. Now, remember I told you guys to remember Jakku? Well, in this issue, Superman is a couple of decades in the future with Booster on Jakku. But I feel like the main focal point in this book was Lois finding her father this time, which is cool because we've only been getting snippets of it. This time around, it's 1 and 1. We get 1 page with Superman, 1 page with Lois, and it just keeps bouncing back and forth between the two. Lois is infiltrating the enemy territory to find her father, and then you've also got Superman on Jakku decades in the future where apparently a war happened between Jakku and, well, Zod and Earth. And apparently, Skeet gives him the history. So now this is the future. And I love how Booster's like, well, this is the future, because it becomes a slave planet. And Superman's like, we got to do something. And Booster says, we're in the future, dude. When you go home, remember this planet, remember this moment, and you'll be able to stop it before it even happens. And like I said, then Lois takes over a lot of the book, her infiltrating, and John keeping an eye on her from a distance. And then, of course, back to Superman where he's fighting he needs this alloy in order to get the time sphere working again so he can get back to his correct time. Gets attacked by the Eradicator, and not Zod, but his now adult son, Lord Zod. So that is not Zod on the cover, that's his son. So it's going to be very interesting to see where this book goes. Have you guys noticed DC making Batwoman a villain more as time gets? I think they're making her more of a tougher character. I don't think they're going to make her a villain per se. I think they're making Batwoman maybe an anti-hero, maybe a person who's willing to make darker decisions than Batman. I don't see them making Batwoman complete and utter evil, if that makes any sense. And then, of course, the last book, and the book that everybody's still talking about, Doomsday Clock, issue number 3. I get the variant covers because I like the variant covers a bit more. I do like Batman reading Korvac's journal. And that's exactly, this book was pretty short. We find out that Dr. Manhattan ended up saving the comedian right before the comedian smacks into the ground, which starts the whole Watchmen series. He teleports him away to the DC universe, and he ends up in an ocean. He survives, and that's why the comedian is in front of Ozymandias. Now, fight breaks out. Of course, Ozymandias gets away. Unfortunately, not unscathed, but he gets away. Rorschach, or the new Rorschach, is trying to get Batman to help him find Dr. Manhattan. He gives him Korvac's journal. We get some flashbacks. We get to see Johnny Thunder, which makes me wonder what's going to be going on with Johnny Thunder. We also get to see the new Rorschach's face for the first time ever. And while Batman's reading the journal, you get to see the new Rorschach just chilling out. We also get to see I forgot these two villains, but they end up getting out, and they're looking for the Joker. I think this is going to play into one of the Jokers that were or out of the few that are in the DC universe. And then the new Rorschach is tricked by Batman into Arkham and ends up getting locked away, to be continued. I feel this is very weird. I'm hoping that it's not Batman just locking him away because he thinks he's crazy. I hope Batman kind of has a side plan in mind, or maybe Ozymandias knew this was going to happen and he'll break Rorschach out. But it's very weird to see Batman just be like, dude, you're crazy. You're exactly where you belong, thinking that he's just completely insane. I thought Doomsday Clock was good this week. Not exactly my favorite of the 3 issues so far. I would say last issue was one of my favorites. I did like the beginning. I liked the fight between the comedian and Ozymandias, but I feel like this issue could have given us a little bit more, but at the same time, not a bad issue for sure. I'm definitely enjoying Doomsday Clock. Doomsday Clock is what's going to be setting the DC universe hopefully back to a status quo that we all the older fans know, but still keeping some of the newer stuff that all fans like. I have a theory that all the speedsters are trapped in the Speed Force. I have that theory too. And a lot of it has to do with Dr. Manhattan again. Lord Zod will never be Chris Kent again, I don't think, at least. I think that arc and that story was in a galaxy a long time ago, far, far away. Let's see. Is Jacob supposed to be a Star Wars reference? Oh, Jakku. I don't know if Jakku is supposed to be a Star Wars reference or not, honestly. It sounds like a Star Wars planet, though, but then again, it is in space, so. So, yeah. So, And then wait, did I read that? Yeah, Jeremy Renfro said about trapping the speedsters. So that is it for this week. It was a short week, but I think it's also because we're getting to the end of the month and we actually have 5. Do we have 5 Wednesdays this month? I think we do. Yes, we do have 5. Yeah, that's why it was stretched out.
Yeah, and there's 2 full moons and everything.
Okay, so that's why this month is being stretched out. So next week we'll probably have another small set of books, and then next month we should be back on. We actually did our order for March. A lot of our stuff, like I said, the reason we went digital for the reviews is because a lot of our books are going digital. We aren't getting as many physical. The reason we did the physical books this week was because our tablet was giving us trouble. But our books have physical pile it will substantially be smaller starting in March. Less than half of what we were getting last year. And that's just because A, the physical piles, and B, we're getting a lot of it digitally anyway. So for room, money-wise, it just evens out better for us. So hopefully next week we'll have the tablet working and everything else will be going good. As always, guys, Pneumatic Cases, issue number 2, went live today from Last Ember Press. If you didn't go and back the Kickstarter yet, you can go from anywhere. I believe it starts at $5 all the way up to, I forget what the highest tier is. I'll probably be doing a show with Brant on Frontline at some point talking about Pneumatic Cases, but if you haven't backed it yet, definitely do. I actually had the honor of flatting a few of the pages on Pneumatic Cases. We've already backed the project. Hopefully you guys will as well. I think the book is awesome. If you guys like what you saw for The Last Ember, you definitely will like Pneumatic Cases. Pulp, or a steampunk meets mystery meets a lot of other things. I can't talk about it, but the book definitely has a really awesome story to it as well. So if you haven't backed it up, if you haven't checked it out yet, I'll have a link in the description. By the time this goes off live, I don't have a link now. However, if you go to Last Ember Press, the links have been shared. Brand's been sharing it on Facebook and Twitter already. It won't be hard to find. Just an odd reference to make. Oh, I agree, Jeremy. I agree. But anyway, other than that going on and having some new work for myself, now flatting certain books, I feel like I'm more and more getting myself into I mean, I don't think I could get any deeper. Writing, flatting, reviewing, reading. I don't think there's really anything left except living in a comic, which that's never going to happen. Keep an eye on this channel. I do have a few things that I'm going to be working on. I actually was in talks with a few people. I'm not allowed to talk about said talks. However, it's through those talks that some nice stuff's going to be happening. If you are a fan of gaming, definitely go follow my Twitch. I'll leave that hint at least. Go follow my Twitch. Has a sub button. If you'd like to sub, it's up to you. Just like over here on YouTube, I have a donate button. Feel free to donate. Don't have to. Again, it's one of those things where any donation definitely helps the channel out, but we're still going at the goals that we're going. Any donations just help us get there faster, and we appreciate that. And so far, our good friend Nerdivision gave us a total of $15 in donations, and we appreciate that so much. And we will thank everybody who obviously does donations. Unless donations become a list, then we're going to have to put a list on the computer so we can thank everybody. More comic streams for the week. Bobby, tomorrow night on Comic Frontline, we will have Frontline Live. I don't believe there'll be anything else this week. Game stream-wise, there might be some stuff on Twitch. Go find me on Twitch, Dark Avenger C86, if you enjoy watching gameplay. And that's about it. So, as always, guys, thank you so much for being here with us live. We had Larry, we had Larry, which is Rebel Comics. We had Jesse, Justin, JLS Comics, and Exile State Comics. JLS Comics has his live show every Thursday, Comic Conversation. And Justin, Exile State Comics, I finally remember Justin has his live show in the mornings on Sunday. So definitely go check out his live shows. Jeremy Renfro, which is Jeremy Joestar, actually has live shows every once in a while, which are more podcast-esque. You can check his channel out. They're done at random times. Geek Lounge 101. Definitely check those out as well. Larry Higgins, which I mentioned, Rebel Comics has Niobe, which we've reviewed. Niobe 1 through 3 had a successful issue number 4, by the way, which is awesome. Unfortunately, it was towards Christmas time, so we were unable to join that or another Kickstarter we wanted to join. But Niobe is another great book you guys should check out. Don't forget to check out my book, Celestial Falcon, issue number 1. Issue number 2 is in the works as we speak. And yeah, and also thank you, Tevye, for being here, Alan for being here. Who else was here? Bobby was here. It's Frank popped in for a message. And make sure you get everybody. That was me. And yes, thank me for being in the comments, I guess. It'll be out in March. Okay, so issue number 4 will be out in March. You heard it right here from Rebel Comics, or as he called himself here, Rebel Gaming. You can go check Niobe out. And until then, guys, till next week, we'll see you guys. We are consistent. We may be a couple of hours late, but better than being a couple of days late. Thank you guys so much for being here. Now, for those of you that are not here live, Nerdivision is here. Oh, there he is. He popped in right at the end. Nerdivision, don't worry. I didn't miss you, man. I already mentioned about the $15 you donated. Thank you, live. So don't worry. You've actually already been acknowledged, whether you were here or not. But he is here now live with us for the last couple of minutes of the show. But thank you for popping in towards the end, Nerdivision. You can go back and check it out. We did actually mention your name for the donations. And another thank you, as always, for the awesome donation you have made to this channel and to keeping this channel moving forward. Thank you all so much for being here live. For those of you that are here now post-live, and we actually have somebody else. Frost popped in. Frost popped in at the end as well. Oh, man. He's here. So, hashtag Celestial Falcon. Better. Oh, I'm not saying the end of that. Wow. Okay, well, thank you for enjoying Celestial Falcon. It's not a competition, though, so I'm not saying it's better than anything. It is just there, and it is kicking butt as it is, period. But thank you, Frost, starting to fight in the comments. But post live, now it's your turn. Let us know the comics you like this week. Likes, dislikes, agree, disagree, recommendations. This is your time to have your voice heard, because now the comment section is completely empty again. So it's for the post live people. So take care, everybody. Keep reading, keep collecting. We'll see you guys next week for another episode of, it'll actually be episode 430.
Yeah.
Damn. For the 430th episode of the Dark Avenger comic book review. Take care, everybody.
Hey, everyone.